Hey kids, I'm in the kitchen again, and tonight we're going to try something new and different, and we're going to see how it turns out. Let me show you what I got out for the cook. Okay, so what I got out so far, I got some white flour. This is a home ground combination of different kinds of wheat berries, hard and soft. I have some salt, some baking powder, a little bit of sugar, and some water that has been warmed up, and a mixing bowl, measuring cup and measuring spoons. And we're going to get started getting everything in the bowl here and start mixing. Okay, so in my mixing bowl, I have a cup of white flour. If you can see it from the bottom there. Yeah, there, a cup of white flour, a cup of the mixed whole grain flour. I have a little bit of salt, a little bit of salt and sugar. There's my baking powder. I'm going to use a whisk and get all this stuff incorporated just like that. And make sure it's mixed in really, really well. Oh, that looks good. Now we're going to add 3/4 cup of water. This has been warmed up a little bit in the microwave. Just like that. And we're going to start to incorporate that all together and make a dough. And since I probably need both hands to do this, I am going to set the phone down for a minute and get this mixed up and show you what it looks like here in just a moment. Okay, so I got my bread mixed all up here really good. Made sure I got everything off the bottom and everything's pulling away from the sides. I've got my countertop lightly floured, and I'm going to dump that out here a little bit, the bread dough on there, and smooth it out a little bit, make a loaf. And then I've got a little bit of the baking pan here, a loaf pan. I've slightly greased it, and I'm going to dump it in there and get it ready for the oven. Okay, so what I've been doing is just gently taking the roll here and I'll fold the end over here a little bit like this and like that, and then back and forth a little bit on the ends, a little bit more like that, just rolling it up. I'm going to make that into a loaf and stick it into a pan over here that I've got ready. And then we're going to pop that into the oven. I'll show you what it looks like before we put it in there, because we're going to score it too. Okay, so I've got the bread into my loaf pan here. And I'm just going to take a knife and just put some lines on the top of it here a little bit. I have an oven preheated to 400 and some degrees, 425. And then we're going to pop this in the oven for a little bit. That should turn out nice. Let's see what happens. Okay, for the next part of the cook, we're going to be making some tuna salad. It's probably similar to the other tuna salad I made, but this one will have a little bit of pickles in it. So we got out some Dijon mustard, some low salt tuna, some pickle relish. You could use pickles if you want to. I don't have them. Some mayonnaise, some celery, and some onion. We're going to dice all that stuff up, drain the tuna, and make a fine, fine mix on our tuna salad. Okay, that's what she looks like. Now we're turning the temperature down to 350 and cooking it for 10 minutes. Okay, so I got my tuna in there. I've drained it and dumped it in there. It was 2 cans. I've got my sweet relish, some very finely diced up onion, about 1/2 of a small one, a couple stalks of celery, some Dijon mustard, and some mayonnaise. And we're going to whip this up together and make it really, really fine, really thin, to where there's not that many chunks of the tuna. It'll be nice and smooth. So I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. Well, I've been working on this about a minute or 2 or so, and if you look, the tuna is all really finely mixed in. There's no really large chunks at all. And this is ready for now until we get ready. Oh, there goes the oven. Let's go check and see what's cooking. Well, the timer is done on that second cook at 350, and that is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to be cutting that up here in a little bit and grilling it for our sandwich that we're going to make, our open face sandwich. This should be really good. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking the bread and making some slices here, and then we're going to grill them. I got the griddle on the stove, it's heating up. Got some olive oil out, and we're going to make them nice and toasty. So the griddle's hot. I got out my pastry brush. I got a nice bowl here of olive oil. And we're just going to kind of brush these guys like this a little bit. You could pour it on here if you wanted to, but I think I'm just going to brush it on like this. And then put those right on that hot grill. That side down like that. And let it start to toast. I'm going to fill up the griddle with those. Keep adding more bread here. I might actually have to turn that temperature up a little bit because we're not hearing the sizzle. We got to hear the sizzle. Alrighty. So I'm going to keep doing this a little bit until I get all these things on the griddle. And oh, there's the sizzle. I can hear it now. Until we get these all toasted up nice and pretty. Oh, that looks good. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. So what I got going here, I got all the bread on here. They have been covered both sides with a little bit of olive oil, and we're letting them griddle. I got the temperature up some, and we're going to get them nice and golden if we can. So I've started to flip them over, and this is what we're looking for. Nice and golden brown. In the meantime, I got out a 9x13 cast iron, and I've lined it with some parchment paper, and we're going to put these over there when this gets grilled up nice and pretty, and then go to the next step. Well, there it is, all grilled up, nice and pretty. That's the color we wanted, nice and golden brown. It's a little bit firm to the touch, which is also what we wanted. Now we're going to get ready to put sandwich stuff on top of it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our tuna. We just got done a little bit fixing to go. And we're going to put it on top of the bread like that. And then cover it with some other yum stuff and then stick them in the oven. Okay, so what we've done now is we've put some tomato on top. We're going to season all of them with a little bit of salt and pepper because that makes tomatoes taste better. And then we're going to layer them with some cheese. I've got some Munster and some Havarti. You could use mozzarella or something like that, whatever your favorite is. We're going to top these with our cheese and put them in the oven. And this is what it looks like when we're done. They're getting ready to go in the oven. I got the oven preheated to 425, and then we're going to go in there and let them melt all that cheese over all that yum stuff. I'll let you know what they look like when we get out of the oven. Well, there they are, right out of the oven. Let them cool off just a little bit, and that is what is for dinner. Doesn't that look pretty? Oh my gosh. Good eating right there on a plate. So all that's left is the taste testing. All right, here it goes. Gotta be a big bite. Get over here so I can. Oh, that is good. That's much better than I thought it'd be. That's what's for dinner.